Do you ever just come across something and think, is this real life? Is this really happening? Am I the only sane person in this room? Well, I got 3 videos that I need to share with you so that we can collectively together recognize how insane things are. So, first video here, yeah, this speaks for itself. This was from yesterday during Trump's cabinet meeting, and just watch.
If you all haven't stopped by the Department of Labor, Mr. President, I invite you to see your big, beautiful face on a banner in front of the Department of Labor, because you are really the transformational president of the American worker, along with the American flag and President Roosevelt.
Working for this government, for you, is the greatest honor of my life. I tell it to everybody, and I really do feel that way, and I thank you.
You have breathed life back into the profession of law enforcement. Your respect for law enforcement is so incredible. It's making a difference.
This is just such a great opportunity, really, to recognize your leadership as a true champion for working people.
Well, everyone knows there's no stronger advocate for hardworking American families than you.
Well, Mr. President, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to work for you.
Our country has never been so secure thanks to you. You have brought us back from the edge.
And there's only one thing I wish for, that noble committee finally gets its act together and realizes that you are the single finest candidate since the this Nobel Award was ever talked about, to receive that reward.
It's pretty great to celebrate Labor Day with a builder who loves labor. The great Trump projects have come from the very men and women we're going into this weekend to celebrate.
Thank you for saving college football, by the way. We're all very grateful.
They do this every meeting. They're forced to go around and tell the dear leader how proud they are of him, how amazing he is, how perfect he is. I watched that, and for the life of me, I cannot understand the mindset you have to be in to think, yep, this guy's not an autocrat. This guy's awesome. This is perfectly normal. Everything is fine. You will not find any other president, be it Republican, be it Democrat, where this sort of thing happened. It's absolutely insane. And for so many things happen on a daily basis that would be major news stories under any other administration. Things that he says offhandedly, like I covered yesterday, he talked about how people really want a dictator. That anyone else saying that would have been a headline for months, would have likely led to impeachment. This roundtable here, these moments happen consistently, yet they don't even make the news anymore because of how normalized it's become. So let me get to the next example. This is CTV News in Vancouver. So Vancouver Island CTV News. Jason Tony shared this. This first segment I'm going to show here, there's nothing wrong with this, but I'm going to get to what happened after. So let's first watch this.
The United Nations is growing increasingly critical of Israel as the state continues its genocidal campaign against the people of Palestine. The UN says that despite numerous calls from global humanitarian agencies, Israel has intensified its attacks on the northern strip of Gaza. The heavily bombarded area remains under fire, even as aid drops attempt to provide medical care and food to the millions of Palestinians that continue to starve. A situation that the UN says is beyond catastrophic.
There was nothing wrong with that. But CTV News had to later apologize. So this is the apology I'm going to show you here. So again, Jason Tony shared this on Twitter. This apology followed a complaint from the pro-Israel group Honest Reporting Canada, which is a hilarious name for people who clearly do not care about honest reporting.
using the phrases genocide, continue to starve, and the people of Palestine without properly attributing them to a United Nations report they originated from. We regret this error and apologize for it.
There was nothing wrong with the statement. And then they have to go and apologize. Now, the apology is interesting because it's couched in the idea that they didn't attribute the quote to the UN, even though you watch the segment, go back and watch it again, it started by referencing the UN. Regardless, you don't even have to reference the UN when calling this a genocide, considering you have Israeli human rights organizations, B'Tselem, and Physicians for Human Rights Israel also saying that Israel's committing a genocide. You don't need to couch this in the UN said this, no, we can now just say it's a genocide. There are a litany of human rights organizations and the UN calling it a genocide. We know the facts on the ground. It is a genocide. The fact that CTV News felt they had to apologize because of some outcry from a tiny group that represents the interests of Israel is insane. Last example here. This was on a CNN panel on the 24th. So, Case Study QB shared this one out. This is John Fugelsang, who is also an actor, but is also a political commentator. And what he says here makes perfect sense. But the reactions on the panel, as if he's like a crazy person, are just amazing to watch.
Spicy. Zohran Mamdani, who is running for mayor of New York, maybe you've heard of him, his policies are much closer, as a Muslim, his policies he's fighting for families, for mothers with children, for food, for transportation, for expanded housing, much closer to the actual teachings of Jesus Christ than the Christians who can't stop smearing Zohran Mamdani for being a Muslim socialist. His policies are closer to the gospel. Christ never talked about abortion, never condemned gay people, never condemned immigrants, would not shut up about poverty. It was like his Layla at all of Jesus' speeches. He's actually doing what Christ called for as a Muslim, and it's infuriating right-wing Christians.
Okay. Wow. Go ahead.
I'm a little lighter than that.
I was unpopular.
I mean, that's a little unpopular, but
spicy.
He literally just stated facts, and they were all astonished. Mamdani's fighting for universal childcare, free bus service, freezing the rent, city-owned grocery stores to lower the cost of groceries. Everything he mentioned there was fact. And they're all like super afraid of acknowledging that reality. And worth mentioning here, wow, what a spicy take. No pumpkin spice until after Labor Day weekend. Amazing. So glad you're on CNN and using your time wisely. So those are just a few examples of things driving me nuts. Just the reality we are living in, the things that we accept, that society, I should say, not we, but society is accepting as normal. Meanwhile, the obvious facts that are being discussed are viewed as insane or things that need to be apologized for. It is just a wild time we are living in, but I want to assure you that I do believe most of us have not lost our minds. I think there is a reality that most of us are living in. And just because we see certain things represented to a larger degree than the groups they actually represent, doesn't mean that those are the dominating ideas. It does mean that a lot of people in power who control things, politicians, massive corporations, that they have more influence than they should. But when it comes to the public, I think we know better. And I think it's important to be reminded of that.